You've heard of the law of attraction, right? Of course you have. But what if everything you've heard is, well, kind of wrong? Or at least missing the most important part? In this explainer, we're going to ditch the wishful thinking and get into a way more powerful, practical guide that comes from a legendary warrior. Yeah? Is it really that simple? You just sit there, visualize what you want, and poof, the universe just hands it over? I mean, if you've ever actually tried that and felt like, this isn't working, you are definitely not alone. The truth is, that's just a tiny piece of the puzzle. And honestly, it's the most powerless piece too. And this right here, this is the gut punch. This is the truth that gets swept under the rug. Look, you can be the most positive person in the world. You can visualize all day long, but if you don't actually do the work, nothing, and I mean nothing, in your real life is going to change. All right, so where does this whole thing go off the rails? It all starts with a huge misunderstanding of how the world actually works. See, the universe isn't some cosmic vending machine where you just put in a wish and get what you want. It's way more like a marketplace. It doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you offer. And this is where it gets really interesting, because this is our default setting, right? Most of us are walking around all day thinking, what can I get? What do I want? But here's the thing. The world, frankly, doesn't care what you want. It cares about what you can do, what you have to offer. And focusing only on yourself, that's exactly why so many people feel like they're always chasing and never actually getting anywhere. So where do we find a better way? Well, it comes from a pretty unexpected place. We're talking about wisdom from one of the greatest swordsmen who ever lived, Miyamoto Musashi. Turns out, he didn't just master the sword. He developed a philosophy that's the ultimate guide to attracting what you want in life. This is the whole key. The first part, consider yourself lightly, that's about keeping your ego in check, right? But the real magic, the part that flips the entire law of attraction on its head, is that second phrase, consider the world deeply. This is where everything changes. And this is that huge mental shift we're talking about. It's about turning the spotlight around. Stop pointing it at yourself and your own desires and start shining it out into the world. It's about looking at the needs, the problems, the desires of your employer, a partner, your customers, whoever it is. You're shifting from a mindset of consumption to one of contribution. Okay, so what does this all boil down to? It's this. The best way to get what you want is to deserve it. When you start focusing on deserving something, you're not begging the universe for it anymore. You're actually building the value that makes you a magnet for opportunities. And this just lays it out so clearly, doesn't it? The chaser is all about me, me, me. What can I get? It's a needy energy. But the attractor, they're asking a totally different question. What problem can I solve here? What can I bring to the table? That one little change in perspective, it changes everything. And this is the incredible result of that shift. The second you become the one who provides value, the whole game flips. You stop being the one chasing jobs or people or opportunities, and they start chasing you. You become the prize that everyone else wants. But listen, this isn't some magic trick. There are two conditions, and they're absolutely non-negotiable. First, you gotta actually become valuable. You have to put in the hours, build the skills, do the real work. And second, people have to see that value. It's no good being the best if you're the world's best kept secret. Okay, let's make this super practical. Nothing shows this better than seeing it in action. So let's imagine two people going for the exact same killer job. First up, our chaser. Their strategy? It's all about volume. They're just spamming out hundreds of resumes hoping something sticks. Their interview prep is shallow, just Googling common questions. When they walk in that room, they see the company as the prize, and they're just hoping, praying that they get picked. Their whole energy is about getting approval. And you can just feel the energy in this statement, can't you? It's begging. It hands all the power over to the interviewer. It's saying, please give me a chance, instead of, here's why you're my solution. Okay, now for the attractor. Their whole approach is from another planet. They don't just research the company, they research the company's problems. They dig into the industry's challenges. So they don't show up with canned answers, they show up with potential solutions. They're not there just to get a job. They're there to see if it's a good match. And just listen to this question, it completely changes the dynamic, right? Suddenly, it's not an interrogation anymore. It's a consultation. It's a strategy session. They're already providing value right there in the middle of the interview. And then, boom, this is the killer line, the absolute game changer. This tells the interviewer, hey, I'm not just here hoping you'll pick me, I'm also deciding if you are good enough for me. That completely flips the power dynamic. In that moment, they become the prize. Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we apply this warrior's wisdom to our own lives? It all starts with a conscious choice, a decision to stop chasing and start building. Here's your action plan. First, figure out what the world, or your little corner of it, actually needs. Who are you trying to serve? What are their real problems? Then do the work, the hard work. Actually become the person with the solution. Build the skills. Next, make sure people can see it. You have to market yourself, get your value out there so people can find you. And finally, make that deep mental shift. Stop focusing on what you want and start focusing on what you deserve. So I'll leave you with this question. I want you to really think about this. When you look at your life, your career, your relationships, whatever it is you're trying to achieve, are you chasing? Are you coming from a place of need, or are you attracting? Are you so focused on building value that the world just has to take notice? Because that choice, well, that's entirely up to you.